Have you ever wondered just what exactly happens after you click buy on Amazon? You're about to find out. Let Amazon Tours take you inside a fulfillment center. Join us and let us take you on a journey across our vast network of innovative technologies, including some of the most adorable robots you'll ever see. Millions and millions of products accessible with the click of a button. And our incredible employees who make what seems impossible, possible. So sit back, relax, and enjoy your Amazon Fulfillment Center tour. We hope it makes you smile.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to your Amazon Fulfillment Center live virtual tour. Now, my name's Hannah, and I am based at our Fulfillment Center, or FC as we like to call them for short, in Manchester. Now, this building is called Man 1, and we're also known as a robotics sortable site. And you can see these robots working away behind me here, and I can't wait to introduce you to them in a short while. But another person I want to introduce you to is my wonderful friend, Christian, who's over at BHX1. So let's hop over and say hi, Christian.
Thank you, Hannah, and hello, everyone, and welcome to today's tour. My name is Christian, and as Hannah just said, I'm the tour leader right here at BHX1, which is located in a small town called Rugeley in Staffordshire, not too far from Birmingham, for those of you who haven't heard of us. Now, I'm going to tell you lots about my site as this tour goes on, so I won't tell you too much right now. What I'll do is hand you back over to Hannah.
Well, thanks, Christian, and of course, we can't wait to come live to you. So let's let you get off now and go and get ready, and we will see you in a short while. Okay, so Christian and I are going to give you a behind the scenes tour and show you the magic what happens when you click buy on Amazon's website in some detail. So we're going to introduce you to many of the processes that happen behind the scenes here. Now, back in 2021, Amazon actually created an additional 25,000 new permanent roles, and this has bumped up our number of employees that we employ here in the UK to a staggering 75,000. Now, this year, Amazon created many positions for apprenticeship roles. These were all permanent positions, and in fact, we created 1,500 of them in 40 different areas of subject. Now, 200 of those were also at degree level. And we have lots of opportunities to grow and develop whilst you're actually working here at Amazon as well. We've got an amazing program called Career Choice, where you can learn, earn and study at the same time, because Amazon will pay 95% of a course fee that you want to study. And this is, you know, if you're thinking about a career outside of Amazon, or you're thinking about a career inside Amazon, but in another department, Amazon's going to help you to get there, because we really want people to have an enriching time when they're here working at Amazon, and we're going to help you to do that. We'll tell you lots more snippets as we go throughout the tour. Well, we've introduced nearly all of us to you. We've also got one of our colleagues and dear friends, Sam, working away in the background. Now, Sam's doing all the techie stuff behind the scenes that we don't get to see, but it actually brings this broadcast to life and makes it all possible. Now, Sam's also going to be moderating our Q&A box, and you can see that on your screens now if you look over on the right-hand side. Click into that Q&A box. Let us know your name, where you're watching us from, how many people are in your group today, and we will look forward to giving you a shout out as we go throughout the tour. Now, you can also use this box to ask us any question you like. You might have come already with some pre-prepared questions about Amazon and life at Amazon and etc. Well, you can ask away. Just drop them into that Q&A box. If Sam doesn't have time to answer all those questions as the tour runs through, what he's going to do is bank those questions up. And then at the end of the Fulfillment Center tour, Christian and I are going to come back on screen and we're going to play a ping pong game. And we're going to ask each other the questions and give you some straight answers. So yeah, don't hesitate to use that Q&A box to your advantage. And you know, we don't want Sam getting lonely, do we? So definitely bob in there and say hi. Don't be shy. Okay, so let's talk about fulfillment and our fulfillment centres. Now, firstly, you might think Man1 and BHX1 are strange names. Well, let's give you your first fun fact. So globally, all of our names, all of our building names are named after the closest international airport. So Man1, we just happen to sit right next door to Manchester Airport, actually. Not too sure how close Rugeley site is to Birmingham International, but that gives you an indication as to our naming convention. And you know what? We've got nearly 400 sites globally, so I'll let you work out the rest. We won't go through all of them. Now we're going to see some slides now that Sam's going to populate on our screens. Okay, so everything starts when you click buy on Amazon's website. So what is the process then behind the scenes? Well, everything starts in our inbound department, where we take receipt of inventory sent to us, and we call that process receive. Once we've received the items in, we send them to be put away, and we call that process stow. And that's exactly what we're going to use these robots for in a short while, and see how they help us to deliver to our customers so fast. Okay, so we've got receive, we've got stow. We then flick over to the start of outbound. So you press click, you buy an item, and we then pick that item for you before sending it to be packed into one of our world famous smile boxes before we send it through a process called SLAM. Don't worry, SLAM isn't an action. I'm going to talk you through that process in a while. And this is where we apply the customer address details. Once applied, we send it through on a conveyor to our shipping department, where all those parcels are pre-sorted into regional areas that they're going to head off to. We then stage all those parcels before loading them on to waiting trucks. The trucks then don't head off to your front door. They head off to a delivery station, where those parcels are broken down further into the route section. So which postcode regions are those vans going to head off to? And then we load them onto our smile vans and head off to your front door. Okay, so that's all the processes that we are going to see today. Let's give a couple of you a shout out. So we've got hello from DT and business students at Whitley Bay High School. We've also got a teacher here from SOAS. So hi to everybody watching us today. Hi to everyone in those classes. We really thank you for joining us and hope that you're going to learn something new today. So without further ado, let's go live to Christian now in our first stop on today's tour, which is Receive. So Christian, are you there?
Yes, Hannah, I'm here. Thank you for that amazing introduction into today's tour. And welcome back, everyone, to BHX1 and our inbound area. Before I tell you a little bit more about inbound, let me give you a little bit of information about this site. So BHX1, it's a 750,000 square feet traditional sortable site. So what does that mean? Well, first of all, unlike Hannah's site, we don't have the robots because we're a traditional site. And then we're also a sortable site. So that means that we only deal with the smaller items here. So everything on this site must fit into one of our totes. So it needs to be under 18 inches in length and around 11 kilos in weight. So you're never going to see anything bigger here than around a small microwave. So let's talk about inbound and how we get all that inventory into our building. So right behind me on that back door there, you can see a whole row of dock doors, and they are our inbound dock doors. Now, trucks arrive at these dock doors at pre-appointed times, ready to unload all that inventory. Now, we have a team of employees over there who will take all that inventory in. Now, something that might surprise you is that around 50% of all that inventory which comes through here is not actually owned by Amazon. It actually belongs to our FBA program, or Fulfilled by Amazon. So we have third-party sellers who sell on Amazon. So as you go on to the Amazon website, you'll often see items sold by and a third-party company name and fulfilled or shipped by Amazon. That's our FBA program. So the item still belongs to the third-party seller. they just use Amazon as a platform to help sell their product, to reach a wider audience, and then to help distribute their product. And we'll even take care of the customer services for them as well. So once we unload those pallets full of inventory into our building, well, we're going to scan the barcodes. Now, barcodes here at Amazon are really important. Not only do they tell us that those products have officially arrived on site, but they'll allow us to track the product all the way through our building. Now, once we receive that inventory, well, we're going to depalletize it off the pallet. So we're going to break down all the shrink wrap and then load the big boxes onto this conveyor belt right here. And that conveyor belt snakes through our inbound area to our receive line. So let's take a walk to our receive line and see what we're doing next. Now, unfortunately, we don't have any products coming along this conveyor belt just at the moment. But if we just take a couple of steps into our receive station here. Now, we did have a receiver here just a few minutes ago, but unfortunately, he has just gone on to break. So I'll give you a little bit more information about it. So this is our receive station. So our receiver has a computer screen. The conveyor belt runs just below me here, bringing all that inventory from the trucks. Now, our employee's job here, well, they're going to open up that box and see what we have, making sure we've received exactly what we're supposed to. They're going to do a quality check, a quantity check, and also if we have any expiry dates on those items, well, they're going to input those into the system as well. Now, once we're happy with all those products, well, we simply place them into one of these stow carts right here. And as you can see, we have some cod liver oil in there, which our receive employee has been obviously checking into the building. Now, once this cart is full, well, one of our support employees called the water spider is going to transport it from the area where you can see us now up into the huge sort of structure in the background there. Now, in the background there, that is our stow tower. So that's where we're going to put all of this product away. But before we take you through stowing, well, I know that you want to see some of the amazing technology that we have here at Amazon. And to take you through that, well, I'm going to hand you over to Hannah, who's currently with her robot. So Hannah, are you there?
Yay, Christian, we most certainly are. Thanks for showing us that receive process there. So now we're going to look at where we actually store that inventory in robotics sites. So Natalie, my wonderful camera ambassador who's working with me today, is giving you this great shot inside our robotics field. Now here at Man One, we've got 3 fields in total, all dedicated to our robots, moving those strange yellow towers around. Now those yellow towers don't contain any tech at all. They are simply mobile floating shells. I like the way that they kind of look like they're floating, don't they? Now, our robots, well, we started using this technology back in 2012. And do you know what? We loved it that much. We actually acquired the company that had originally developed them. So originally, these robots were known as Kiva systems, but we have since renamed them ARs, which simply stands for Amazon Robotics. Pretty easy to remember, right? So yeah, 3 floors of robots. So we've got thousands of these robots and thousands of these pods where we're stowing away the inventory. Now, as you can see, on those pods, we can actually store on all 4 sides of them. And this actually increases our storage capacity by around the 50% mark compared to our compared to our traditional sites like BHX1, where you don't have the robots. Now, the robots are moving around the floor by navigating a grid map of 2D barcodes, and you might just be able to see them stuck all over the floor. They are literally just stickers of a QR code stuck on the floor. And again, we have thousands of these. Now, these act as our robot street signs. But what the robots are actually doing is scanning a barcode, moving on to the next, scanning another barcode, moving on to the next. And this continuously updates the robot's location to the cloud. So our system knows exactly where our robots are at any one time. Now, the purpose of our robots is to do all of that heavy lift. So they're picking up the pods, they're bringing them directly to our workstations then, where we're either going to be stowing items away into them or picking live customer orders. And we're going to tell you more about those processes in a short while. Now, as you can see, our robots travel, well, they don't go any faster than a fast walking pace. They're really nice and polite. They stop, let one another pass. And that's because they're fitted with a series of sensors, as well as reading that grid map of 2D barcodes. And, you know, the type of technology that they use is artificial intelligence and enhanced communication signals to interact with each other. So what that means is, well, a question we get asked a lot on our tours is what happens if a piece of inventory were to fall from one of these pods that you can see? Well, if that were to happen, the robots won't bump into it. And that's because each is fitted with a sensor on their noses, which is continuously scanning in the direction that they're traveling in. This is to identify any objects. So, object identified. What the robots will do is slow down and reroute away from that area, at the same time sending signals to the other robots in that area to move away. At the same time, they're going to be updating their maps and sending that information to the cloud, again, so our system knows what's happening. At that point, the robot will also send a message to our team of technicians that they will pick up from the cloud. Now, this will indicate to our technicians where that product is on the floor and where they need to plan to enter the floor. So just to give you some context, these robotic floors are the size of 1 1/4 football pitches. So think of the last game that you went to and imagine the size of that football pitch. Huge, aren't they? Okay, so what happens is our engineers are then going to be able to pretty much pinpoint exactly on the floor where they need to get to. And using a handheld device, they'll be able to work out that route and then enter the floor. But before they enter that floor, they're going to equip themselves with a very special safety vest, because Amazon's innovation, the way that Amazon's, kind of technically so advanced, is because they'll think of, oh, why don't we create a safety vest that protects our robotic engineers from any harm whilst they're out working on the floor, that will kind of create a Jedi force field around them, and the robots will know that they're there and not come anywhere near them. They're going to stop, they're going to reroute and move away. Well, that's exactly what Amazon did. So they created this safety vest. In fact, they put $10 million into the invention of this vest. That uses artificial intelligence and those enhanced communication signals to send those messages straight out from the vest so that our technicians can enter the floor safely. The robots aren't going to come anywhere near them. They're going to stop, they're going to reroute and map away from that area so that, we can enter the floor safely and actually retrieve items from the robotics floor. Once we're out, obviously we can get those back into our stock rotation if they're undamaged. And it also means we're keeping our people safe. And it also means that we don't need to shut the entire operational floor down to go out onto it and, retrieve those items. It means we can keep that continual operational flow going and just isolate specific areas on the floor. Really cool piece of kit. Okay, so our robots, as you can see, they're running and will continue running throughout the day, and they never run out of power. So they're powered by really powerful lithium-ion batteries that when they're reaching, they never go below 50%. An indicator will tell them to go off, finish the task in hand, and head to the center of the robotics field, where we have a series of docking stations set up. The robots will self-dock, charge for a matter of minutes, and then be good to go for hours. So, yeah, absolutely fantastic piece of kit. I wish I could plug into it at the end of a busy Cyber Monday week. All right, so let's go and have a look at the processes, shall we, in a little bit more detail. Have a look how we go about putting things away into these pods to stay organized. So let's see how we do that. So Natalie, let's go across now and just meet Martin. Hey Martin, how you doing? Yeah, thanks for being on camera again today. Really appreciate it. Our guests are just able to see the process in so much more detail. So welcome to Stow. Okay, so Stow is where we're putting away the inventory that we've taken receipt of downstairs in our receive area. Now, all of these totes that you can see are full of products, and each of those totes has a unique barcode on the front of it. So the system knows, based on that unique barcode, the contents that are inside these totes. And what will happen is, once we've pulled the totes through onto the workbench, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 full totes here, well, the system will send the robots off to go and collect pods and bring pods to the station with available space. Now, remember I said you can stow on all 4 sides of those pods? Well, on each side is a different sized set of shelves. So we can stow away really small items in our smallest bin location, which is just 6 inches. Then we've got 9 inches, then we've got 12, 16, up to the maximum size of 18 inches. So 18 inches is the largest size product that you will find in this building. I think we're going to demonstrate that now with a 12 pack of toilet tissues. No, 24 pack. Okay, so this is the largest item that you'll find here. Now, the system will only allow us to stow away these large, heavier items in the bottom section of the pods. This is to make sure that we're not overstretching with heavy items to protect our backs, but it also keeps the pod stable because, you know, of that weight distribution. Now, we have got a massive different products here. So can anybody guess how we go about stowing items away so that we stay organised? I'm going to let you think on that for just 1 second. Okay, well, the answer is we don't. We don't categorise any products. We randomly stow items away so that we can randomly pick customer orders, because that's how you order. You order randomly. So we're going to put stuff away randomly and we're going to pick items randomly. But what that enables us to do is very quickly put inventory away into our pods, because we can just look at the space that we've got. We can look at the inventory that we've got, take an item out. We're going to scan the barcode on the item, and then we're going to place it into one of these pod locations. Now, the system knows which pod location you've placed the item into because it captures that using computer vision. So it'll store the grid map reference, exactly where you've stowed it away, as well as taking an image of that product as you've placed it into the pod. And we see that when we actually come to pick the product as well. So when we put items away, they're then a digital and physical match, and within seconds available for sale on Amazon's website. So at this point, we say goodbye to inbound. So we've seen receive, we've seen how we stow, and we go and say hello to outbound. So Natalie, let's go and have a look at the, let's go and have a look now at our other station. All right. Thank you so much, Martin. Cool. Okay, so this is what we call a pick station. And we've got Giza here. Hey, thank you so much for, just jumping in there, really. I know you just got back from lunch, so appreciate it. Okay, so this is our pick station. Now, this is what's known as a semi-automated workstation. And it's like the reverse of Stow. So at Stow, we had a bench full of totes that were full of product. Here we've got a bench full of empty totes. Now the automated piece is this section at the back here. Natalie, let's just show everyone the back of the workstation here. Now this is the automated section here. So as you can see, we've got that top section of conveyor that's full of empty totes. So they're fed automatically to the workstation. We then draw down a tote for each location. So we've got 6 totes on our bench, and each of those again has that individual barcode. So the system will receive an order and then send it to the appropriate pick station. The robots will wake up, they'll head off and go and collect a pod and bring that pod where the product is to be picked from. And the robots are actually going to go off and find the nearest pod to this workstation where the item is located, because remember random stow, we could have the same item spread out across many different locations. So what that means is if we have a sudden surge of orders in for the same product, so say the next FIFA video game gets released and 20 people order it at the same time, it means that we've got that game spread across 20 different locations in our fulfillment center, so we can pick it at the same time and avoid any bottlenecks. Okay, so when we're actually looking for the item, we've got a few things helping us along the way here. So firstly, you have an illuminated light. We can see just up top there that's indicating the bin location where the product is. We then can look on our screens, look for the item that we're looking for, make sure it matches, take it out, and then we're going to scan the item. And then we're going to place it into one of these totes that you can see. And I can hear you all saying, but Hannah, how come we've got so many different totes here? So we've got different totes here because we're actually picking items in what we call batches. So when we're actually picking items in batches, what that means is we are picking multiple customer orders at the same time and then placing those into the appropriate bin. Sorry, not bin. I've got that word on my mind. Definitely not the bin. We're going to pick a customer order and place it in to one of these totes, and we're doing that in batches. So we're picking multiple orders at the same time. But the difference is the location where those totes are heading off to. So if I've ordered just a single item, we're going to pick all the single item orders, place them into one tote and send that tote off to our pack singles area. If I've ordered more than one item, so say I've ordered 5 items, because of the way that we randomly stow products in our building, what's really likely is that they're going to be picked from 5 different locations. So 5 different totes with my orders in are going to head off to our multi-pack area, where our team then will resort all those 5 items out and pack them into just one shipment. And then the other location where some of these products could be heading off to is what we call transship. And this is where we send products to another fulfillment center if they're making up part of a larger order, say for example, and they haven't got that stock at that fulfillment center. So we're going to just put those items into one tote, and then we're going to send that tote off on a truck to BHX1, for example. So how do we know which tote to place the product into? Because it doesn't tell us that on the screen. So we know that because you can see this bar just above the totes here. We've got a series of sensors. So the one that flashes green is going to tell you and indicate which tote to place that into. We're going to place it into that tote, wait for the tote to get full or until the system asks us to push it through. And then we push that tote through and it goes off on its journey. And that's what's happening behind me here. Would you mind just sending a tote through for us when you get a chance? Thank you. So Natalie, I'm going to move out the way. We're going to follow one of these totes as it heads off on its journey. So it's just heading off there and it's just moving up now. It's just waiting to head up on the elevator here. So this is the elevator here. Okay, so it's going to head up on the elevator. Okay, and then it's going to just head off. There it goes now on our conveyor. Now we've got about 10.5 miles of conveyor here at Man 1, snaking products all around our building in those black totes. And do you know what? Because you've listened to me so intently now, I'm going to shrink you up. I'm going to pop you inside one of those totes and you're going to head off on this ride to Christian.
Thank you, Hannah, for showing us those last 2 processes and also for introducing us to your robots. I do think they're pretty cool and I wish that we had them here as well. Well, welcome back everyone to BHX1 and I hope that you enjoyed that roller coaster ride. What a great way it is to travel from Pick with Hannah to where we are now in Pack, if I could get my words out. So we are at one of our pack stations. Now, these pack stations are actually ergonomically designed and have had lots of input from our employees to help design them in a way which is much more efficient for our employees. So up top of here, you can see that we have a computer screen. We have a whole range of different boxes, envelopes, and bags. We have our watt machine over here. We have our dunnage dispenser, just tucked out the way there so you can see, and all of our sort of labels as well. Now, that roller coaster ride that you've just ridden on, well, that ends right behind me here, or just up top. So it makes it super simple for our packers to pull a tote off that conveyor belt to continue with their packing. So that's what I've done. So the first thing our packer is going to do is scan into the computer and then scan the tote. Now, on the computer screen here now, it tells me all the items which I have inside that tote. Now, what's really cool at this point is if we have any priority items. So let's say an item which we need to pack quickly in order to make the shipment on time, and then in order to be delivered to our customer on time, well, it's going to be highlighted on the screen here, and I can package that item first. In this case, there isn't, so I simply select the first item in which I wish to pack. So let's see what we have inside our tote today. Okay, so we have some wireless hedge trimmers. We have, what's this item here? It looks like some sort of foam roller, I think, for the gym. And we also have, I'm not even sure what this is, cat grass planting kit set. Let's package that one. I'm not even sure what that actually is. So first thing I'm going to do here is a quality control check. So I'm going to check all sides of the product just to make sure there's no damage on this before I pack it. And I'm happy that it's good to go. So I found the barcode, scan it, and now on the computer screen here, it tells me what box to package that item into. Now, you're probably wondering, how does that computer know, out of all these different boxes that we have, which one is best to package that item into? Well, it all comes down to our QB-scan machine. So whenever we get new products on site, well, they all go through our QB-scan, which very accurately measures the weight and dimensions of all of our products. And then, using an algorithm, well, we can determine which box is best fit for this item. It tells me I need an E0. So just there, you can see E0, and I begin to build it. So I start from the bottom up, simply fold those bottom tabs over, and then this is where my watt machine comes in, which stands for water activated tape. So inside here, we have a huge roll of dry tape as it goes in, but then we have a water well on the side. As I hit the button, the tape passes through the water well and activates the glue. So with one hit of the correct button, it dispenses the exact amount of tape that I need. And that just makes life really quick and really efficient for our packers, but also helps to reduce waste. Flip it over, place the product inside, and we have just a little bit of leftover space in there. And we don't want the product to bounce around during shipping and potentially become damaged. So that's where we add a little bit of our dunnage. So that should be enough. So place that dunnage inside. Now that's going to make sure it's nice and snug. Fold those top tabs over. One more hit of the watt machine. Seal the top. And there we have it. A successfully packaged Amazon Smile Box. However, if you look closely, you'll notice that we're missing something very crucial from this package. That's right. We have no delivery details on this package. And right now, we are not going to add them because we protect the details of our customers. Instead, we're going to apply another barcode. Now, we said barcodes are important, and this barcode comes in the form of a spool label. So when we first started using them, they all started with SP00. As you can see these days, combination of numbers and letters has changed slightly over time, but the name has stuck around. I scan that barcode, and now in the computer system, all the important details about this package, including what's inside it, where we're shipping it, what truck we're putting it on, will all be saved to this barcode. The shipment has gone green, it's all complete, and it can go onto the conveyor belt where it will travel down to the next stage of our process. Now, something that you may have noticed, and more increasingly these days here at Amazon, is you might actually receive a package from Amazon that doesn't come in one of our boxes. You might receive a package from Amazon that comes in the original manufacturer's box or inside one of our bags. Now, that all comes as part of our FFP program, or frustration-free packaging. So Amazon actually works with manufacturers and sellers to produce frustration-free packaging. So not only is it easy to open, but it's fully recyclable and also helps us to reduce our packaging, because it means often we can actually ship the package in its original box. We don't have to put it into one of our boxes. And that is what we call SIOC, or shipped in own container. But we understand that quite often, especially at this time of year, people are buying gifts for other people on the Amazon website. And we don't want to ruin any surprises. So if you are buying a gift and it's a SIOC product, just like this one is here, well, on the website, you'll have an option to say this is a gift. Then, instead of placing it inside one of our boxes, what we're able to do is place it inside one of our Amazon Smile bags. So not only is this bag going to conceal this product, but it also uses considerably less packaging than one of our boxes. So that is all from packing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this last one onto the conveyor belt. Oh, just got the wrong label there. There we go. Shipment has gone green. So I'm going to place it onto the conveyor belt, and it's going to travel down with the rest of the packages to our SLAM line, where hopefully Hannah is waiting to tell you all about it. So, Hannah, are you there?
Yes, I most certainly am. And look at all of these parcels travelling down here from our pack singles department, heading towards SLAM, which is where we're going to apply the address tails. Now, as Christian has just said, that spool label is so important because it acts as these parcels, it acts as their license plate. And we're going to see why that is so important now. So SLAM is an acronym that stands for Scan, Label, Apply, Manifest. It's not an action, I promise you. But we're going to take a look at the first section of SLAM, which is where we are reading that spool label. So we're going to take a look here. Okay, thanks, Natalie. Okay, so red spool label, red laser is reading the spool label. Now, what that's doing is checking our system, seeing what the customer has ordered, seeing where it's going to be shipped to. And what we can do at this point also is weigh the contents of it. Yes, we are weighing every single parcel as it goes over this midsection of the conveyor. And the reason that we're doing that is because we're performing our final quality check. And what this allows us to do is capture any weight differences between the expected weight versus the actual weight. So if something doesn't weigh what it should be, well, we're not going to send it on any further than this process. What we'll do is we'll sideline that, and one of our problem solvers is then going to do a deep dive, investigate what the issue is, and if need be, order a repick, a repack, and expedite it through the whole process to make sure that we still meet our customer promise. Okay, so this opportunity is that crucial quality check. Now, we do this even if the parcel has a combination of items in it. So if I've ordered 5 different products, the system will add all of those products back together and then make sure that that weight matches what the actual weight of the parcel is. Okay, so we're looking for that perfect match. Now, this line has just stopped a second here. I'm not sure why, but what we'll do is we will carry on down. So assuming that that quality check is met, what happens then is within seconds, every single parcel heads off to this section of the conveyor here. Now, this section of the conveyor is where the address labels are created. And then we have these 2 robotic arms, which will then place, well, blow actually the parcel labels on. So we're going to create the address label, which is going to have the shipping detail on it as well. And then 2 robotic arms work in tandem. Oh, Natalie, let's just pivot round here. Work in tandem to apply the address label. Now, rather than touch the box at all, you can see these 2 robotic arms hover, stop and hover. And then using compressed air, a little hose is going to blow the address label on. And what I love about this process is just this continuous flow. It barely stops. And regardless of the parcel size, those robotic arms come down and the sensor makes sure that it doesn't touch the box. And then that little whoosh of air blows the label on. Hypnotic, isn't it? Okay, so I find this process, well, I love to just stand by and watch what's going on here. I also love to see all the different sizes and shapes of parcels. But hey, you're going to get bored of me just stood here watching it. So why don't we send you through to where all of these shipments are heading to, where they've been manifested. We're going to send you off to shipping now for the final process on today's tour. And don't forget to add in any questions that you've got to that Q&A box.
Thank you, Hannah, for showing us that slam machine. I must admit, it's one of my favourite parts of all the processes. But welcome back, everyone, to BHX1, and welcome to our shipping area. Well, in fact, I'm actually stood right above our shipping area, in what has to be one of the most incredible views from inside any of our buildings. I think from here, you can really see the size and scale of them. So, if you didn't know what 750,000 square feet looked like before, well, hopefully, this gives you a pretty good idea. Now, as Hannah has just mentioned, the packages have left the slam machine and they're continuing their journey through shipping. So I'm just going to take a little step out just so I can give you a closer look at what's actually happening here. So as the packages travel along this conveyor belt, they're going to travel to an area called our ship sorter, which you can see just down below us here. Now, as the packages travel around the ship sorter, well, their barcode is being scanned once more. And then it's the job of our cloud computing system to assign the package to one of those blue chutes. So very simply, depending on the customer's address, where we're going to ship that package to, and even which truck we're going to put it on, that'll determine which of these blue chutes it gets assigned to. And then if you watch as it reaches the top of the correct chute, well, it's automatically pushed off and down it goes. Now, at the bottom of those chutes, we have a shipping cart. And this process will continue until that cart is full. At this stage, one of our employees will transport it from our ship sorter there over to the other side of our building towards our outbound docks. Now, closest to us there, you can see dock door number 86 is open. You can actually see an employee taking some of those carts down in the distance as well. Well, dock door 86 is open because we currently have a truck docked to that dock door, which means our employees down there are currently loading that truck full of our customers' orders. Now, a big misconception at this stage of the process is that when these packages leave our building today, well, they're not actually yet on the way to our customers. In fact, they're actually on the way to another site, which we call a delivery station. At the delivery station, well, we're going to split all those packages down into different areas or postal codes or even routes. We'll then load them onto our world famous Amazon Smile vans, where a delivery driver will finally deliver them to our customers' doors. And that then concludes our fulfillment and delivery processes. So thank you for staying with us, but don't go anywhere just yet, because Hannah and I still have our Q&A to come. But whilst I get ready for all your questions, well, I'm going to hand you back over to Hannah. So Hannah, are you there?
Well, yeah, I most certainly am. And Christian, thanks so much for taking us to the end of the tour there and the fulfillment centre process. Now you might wonder what's going on behind me. Just popped up. So this is a massive game of snakes and ladders that we're going to be playing in our fun zone over peak, which actually starts today. So lots of fun activities placed around our fulfillment centre, to take part in and have some fun whilst we're here at work. Okay, so I want to do a quick wrap up of the processes that you've seen today. And I've got a great video for you to watch, and we will see you on the other side. Hi everyone and welcome back to our Q&A time. Now, of course, I can't do this on my own, so I want to invite back Christian, who is going to help me work through our very busy question box. So Christian, are you back with us?
I am back, Hannah. Yes.
Superb. All right, thanks, Christian. Now, guests, Sam wanted me to let you know that he's just not able to answer all of the questions that have been coming through. We're going to do our best to answer as many as we can now with the time that's left. But yeah, thank you so much. We've got some really interesting questions. Okay, so let's kick off with the questions. So, Christian, we'll come to you first. Christian, it says, is most of Amazon's stock from China?
That is a really interesting question and not something I've actually thought about before. In terms of how much of the stock is from China, honestly, I couldn't tell you. Now, we all know that China is a huge distributor within the sort of commerce and e-commerce world. How much of the stock that we have comes from China, I'm not sure. We have huge amounts of our stock coming from our third-party sellers. As I